kind of gloomy and dark when you're dealing with all this. You saw the roads. They didn't look too great, did they? We could see more of that anywhere from the upper Midwest all the way into the Northeast. This is the Euro. The GFS has it not as heavy around the upper Midwest, but a little heavier around the Great Lakes. Honestly, the GFS has been really struggling lately, so I stick with the Euro, and it makes a lot more sense. This is our Friday morning. Very windy in the Northeast. This is system number 1. Then we have system number 2 dropping into the picture here as we head into our Friday and Saturday. Notice as we head into our Sunday, this gets deeper in the Northeast, and by Sunday morning, we have our next system dropping into the picture here, and that keeps us cloudy and snowy. The GFS, kind of similar, system number 1, there's system number 2. The difference really here is the timing and the amount of snow, but regardless, we're getting 1, 2, and then 3 systems. Their system and the GFS doesn't drop in until much later on Sunday, but again, leaning more towards the Euro on the timing of this. Green Bay, the temperature drop will be significant as well. We go from 27 on Friday to Saturday, a high of only 17 degrees. So we get those reinforcements in that cold air for us. Detroit, we've got snow. Notice Saturday night and Sunday morning, that's when the cold air gets into us. We are going to see our temperatures on the cold side. And when it comes to the snowfall, Buffalo, we're down by 7 inches. We need it all along the I-95 corridor. That's where we're really seeing the deficits, from Boston at over 9 below to New York to Philly to D.C. We just haven't gotten a good snowstorm here into the Northeast. Though places like Syracuse, we're 3 feet above average here, and also as you go a little bit farther north. Kelly?
Yeah, there are a few overperformers there, but not many.
It is time to do a little traveling here, and we've got the big steel bird that's coming on in. I know usually January is a little bit slower when it comes to travel because everyone's just dealt with the holidays, getting back in the swing of things. Doesn't it feel good to be back in a routine, whether it's your travel routine for work or other reasons? But I just, as I've gotten older, I really like a good routine. And we're going to have some routine weather across the board here for us, with snow in places like Buffalo and rain in spots like Seattle. And everyone else is seeing the sunshine in Denver. Our routine as of late has been the heat. It has been so warm in the West. And by the way, that is going to continue. In the Northeast, I don't think we're going to have too many travel issues. I do think later in the week, we are going to run into some delays for us here. But if you are out traveling, I mean, listen, 43 in Baltimore. Open those windows, let some fresh air in. I would still probably have the coat on in the car, but I like to put the windows down, let some of that fresh, cool air, especially with the sunshine. It can get really hot inside the car because the radiation comes in at one wavelength, interacts with everything in the car, and then it's a different wavelength trying to get out. It can't get out the windows. So you are going to warm up here, and it's going to be just beautiful for us. Enjoy those mild temperatures because cooler air will be coming in. The evening rush not even that bad when it comes to the weather, which is good news for us here into the Northeast. The Midwest, Kelly, again, no problems today, but that's going to change once we have a system dropping in as we head towards mid-late week.
You ever look forward to your report card day, Steph?
Report card day.
Team cold or team warm?
Oof, I'm actually, believe it or not, team cold. I woke up this morning, got out of the car when I got to work, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like the change in seasons. This isn't so terrible.
It
this
makes
is coming from a Florida girl,
right?
Yeah, it does. You get to wear different things. Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of was like that. Now, when it's 40 below, that's a whole different thing, I think.
Yeah,
you know?
the back and forth is not for me. I'm team cold all the way. I just want it to be cold. I want it to stay cold.
And do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to see if we have a knockout punch here with a jab cross because we have round 1 coming in for Thursday and Friday. There's the cold. Then we get a little bit of a warm up. We go back to average. Then round 2 comes on in for our Sunday and into our Monday. Let's stick with round 1 here with those below average temperatures. Right now, it is mild. It is, in fact, warm in a lot of places. Bismarck, our average high this time of year is 23. 23. So all around the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, we should be upper 20s, lower 30s for our highs. We're already at that temperature right now. And as we get into the afternoon, we're going to be 40, even near 50 degrees. Denver, we can't get. Listen, we've had bouts of cold and a little bit of snow, but overall, really, Denver, we have been well above average and warm. 50s all the way down into Atlanta, 65 into Dallas. It's quite mild. Now, tomorrow, the cooler air doesn't really get in until Wednesday. We start to see the dip in the jet stream Tuesday afternoon into evening. But if you go down to the surface, that cold air really gets in on our Wednesday morning because notice, look at this. Not going to have a big trough with all this heat coming in here. 40s, 50s, 60s, 10, 25 degrees above average. And these record highs are really as we go through the day today into tomorrow, because this will be cold air, though we do stay warm in the west with a big ridge that's coming in. We haven't been this warm this time of year since the 80s, even the 90s here in Valentine, Nebraska. The 80s, it's so interesting to me how you go by each decade and they really have their own sound when it comes to music, clothes. I mean, if you go all the way back in time.
Though the 90s fashion trends are making a serious comeback right now, or at least they have been. Have the 80s fashion trends, have they had a comeback, or is that just like, let's leave that where it is?
I feel like what goes around comes around. You get the really wide bell bottoms from the 70s that have come back, you know, everything comes back around. There's little bits, I feel like, of each era that come back around, because we're not full-blown 90s.
I haven't seen the 80s hair yet, though.
No,
leg warmers, though.
Leg warmers. I feel like those never went out of fashion if you were a ballerina, right? Those always were in style for a ballerina. But this cold air is going to drop on in, and that means that your hair might be standing on edge, not because you've teased it and put in the hairspray, because it is cold out there, 10 to 20 degrees below average here in the eastern U.S. And notice it's really Wednesday morning when we get that cold air in. Chicago, Indianapolis, watch our temperatures drop through the day. So you might not need that jacket going to work, but you'll need the winter heavy jacket on the way home from work. Thursday morning, it's chilly. We don't get it here along the I-95 corridor until we get into our Friday morning. That's when you're going to feel the 20s here across the board. In the south, very warm, very green, very yellow, and then we get invaded by the blue blob, which is an indication of those temperatures in the 20s, 30s, and 40s along the I-95 corridor for our Thursday morning. Look at Miami, 67 for our Thursday morning. That's quite chilly, but on Friday, even colder. We're getting down to the 50s into South Florida, the 40s into Central Florida, and you'll see a lot of 30s and 40s on the map here for our Friday morning. Nashville, just because it's our last hour, round one hits us on Thursday. Then we warm up, and then we get round two coming into the weekend, and it sticks around for the beginning of next week for us. And Detroit, this is our warm-up between our rounds. I mean, we don't really get that warm, but Thursday, and then that second blast comes in. And of course, if you have cold air and you have moisture, what are you going to get, Molly?
Well, I wish I could say all snow, but it's not going to be that simple. It's essentially the size of a camper van.
You know, I've been in the Orion area, or what module, I guess, as you call it, right? And it actually, I thought, was quite spacious for just 4 of them. Yeah. It is very sleek. I didn't go in the actual one. There was a replication, obviously, of it. But it's just like screens. Like, it is very sleek. It is not like the old school space shuttle.
Because that's what I picture the old school space shuttle. But I know it's been a really long time. And obviously, we've had a lot of updates. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it looks like inside.
Yes, and I'm sure we will show you that and much, much more. We have special coverage of this launch here on the Weather Channel. I mean, relatively speaking, I thought it was spacious. I had also been in some of the Apollo capsules, which to me was like super claustrophobic. So this one seemed like very airy and light and bright.
I like it. The new future of space.
Exactly. A lot less switches, just screens, essentially. It's like being in some of these electric vehicles where they just have like the screen and the steering wheel, you know. Buffalo, we have the chance for some snow. I really don't think we're going to have too many issues with planes today due to the weather. There could be other problems that might not be because of the weather. Lots of sunshine for the most part around the country, though that's going to change with our incoming systems that we have as we head midweek towards the end of the week. So, okay, maybe a few issues here. Buffalo on into Syracuse, but they should do okay. The major airports along the I-95 corridor are going to be totally fine for us as we go through the day. It's sunshine, maybe open the windows, get in the car. I mean, I leave my jacket on when I get in the car. I feel like some people might take their jackets off because they just don't like being all puffy and huge in the car. But to me, it's just so much work getting the jacket on and on. You just leave it on, open the windows, get a little fresh air in for you here. Even wear a hat if you have to open those windows. A little bit of snow into upstate New York, but no problems to and from work and school today. The same in the Midwest. We will be clear. We have green and yellow. And Kelly, it is warm. You could put the top down in Rapid City with 62 degrees for a high and sunny.
Warmer than Atlanta?
It is.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, check out the white.